The air hung heavy with the scent of aged paper and forgotten dreams. Lucy ran a fingertip across a dusty spine, her heart echoing the quiet solemnity of the library. Each book held a story, a possibility, a world waiting to be rediscovered. But Lucy wasn't looking for fairy tales or faraway lands. She sought something far more elusive, a piece of her own past, a promise made in the bright, untarnished days of childhood, a promise now shadowed by loss.
Her fingers trembled as they alighted on a worn volume, its cover a faded blue like the summer sky of their youth. It was a book of poetry, a shared favourite, filled with their whispered dreams and girlish annotations. Emma's elegant script seemed to leap from the margins, each word a poignant reminder of the vibrant spirit now stilled.
A single tear splashed onto the yellowed page, blurring the ink. Lucy closed her eyes, the musty scent of old books mingling with the phantom scent of Emma's lavender perfume. It was a scent forever etched in her memory, a bittersweet reminder of a bond broken too soon. She had to find it, the strength to fulfill her promise, for Emma, for herself. They were 10, their laughter echoing through the sun-dappled woods, their bare feet skimming over the soft earth. It was a day painted in hues of gold and emerald, a tapestry woven from sunshine and the sweet melody of birdsong. A day that would forever remain etched in the chambers of Lucy's heart.
They had stumbled upon an old willow tree, its branches cascading like a waterfall of silver green, creating a secret haven, a world just for them. "Best friends forever," Emma had whispered, her voice husky with emotion. "No matter what."
And Lucy, her heart brimming with fierce loyalty, had vowed always and forever.
It was a promise made with the unwavering certainty of youth, a bond forged in the crucible of shared dreams and whispered secrets. They never imagined a world where their paths would diverge, where life's cruel hand would tear them apart. The cemetery was a tapestry of muted greens and greys, the silence broken only by the mournful chirping of a lone bird. Lucy knelt before Emma's headstone, the polished granite cold beneath her touch. It felt wrong, a stark and lifeless monument to a spirit that had burned so brightly. Faded lilies lay forgotten in a chipped vase, their once vibrant petals now brown and withered. Like her promise, Lucy thought, her heart twisting with guilt.
"I'm sorry," she whispered, her voice choked with unshed tears. "I'm so sorry it took me this long."
The words seemed to hang in the still air, swallowed by the silence that stretched between the living and the departed. But deep within her heart, Lucy felt a flicker of resolve. She would find a way to honor her promise, to keep Emma's memory alive. It was the least she could do for the girl who had been more than a friend. She had been a sister, a confidant, a kindred spirit. Sunlight streamed through the willow's branches, dappling the clearing in a mosaic of light and shadow. Emma, her blonde hair catching the sun's rays, had presented Lucy with a small, leather-bound journal. Its pages were crisp and white, filled with the promise of untold stories.
"For our adventures," Emma had declared, her eyes shining with mischief. "We'll write down everything, our dreams, our secrets, our plans for world domination."
Lucy had laughed, a joyous sound that echoed through the clearing. "World domination can wait," she'd teased, taking the journal with reverence. "But our promise, that comes first."
And so they had spent the afternoon beneath the willow's watchful gaze, filling the journal with their hopes and dreams, their childish scrawls a testament to their unbreakable bond. It was a promise etched not just in ink, but on their very souls. Now, years later, the memory held a bittersweet edge, a poignant reminder of a time when their biggest worry was who would get to play the princess in their next make-believe adventure. Life, it seemed, had a way of shattering even the most cherished of dreams. The hospital room had smelled faintly of antiseptic and fear. Emma, her skin pale and drawn, had looked smaller than ever, dwarfed by the sterile white sheets. But despite the pain, her eyes had held a spark of their old vibrancy when Lucy entered, her arms laden with books and magazines.
"You brought reinforcements.
Emma had rasped, a weak smile gracing her lips. Lucy had settled into the chair beside the bed, her heart aching at the sight of her friend's frailty.
Only the best for my warrior princess.
She'd quipped, forcing a lightness she didn't feel. They had spent hours talking, reminiscing about shared adventures, their laughter a fragile shield against the encroaching darkness. But beneath the surface cheer, a silent promise hung heavy in the air. Lucy would fight for her, hope for her, keep her spirit alive even when Emma no longer could. It was a promise born of love and desperation, a vow whispered into the sterile silence of the hospital room. The journal lay open on Lucy's lap, its pages filled with a jumble of their past. There were pressed wildflowers, their colours faded, but their fragrance still faintly discernible. Ticket stubs from movies they'd snuck into, giggling uncontrollably at the most inappropriate moments. Clumsy sketches of their dream treehouse, complete with a rope ladder and a secret password. Each page was a thread in the rich tapestry of their friendship, a testament to the enduring power of shared experiences. As Lucy delved deeper, she found herself transported back to those carefree days, her laughter mingling with Emma's, their joy echoing through the corridors of her memory. She had forgotten how much they had crammed into their short time together, how brightly their laughter had once illuminated the world. It was a painful realization, yet strangely comforting. Emma might be gone, but their memories, their bond, remained woven into the fabric of Lucy's being.
The cemetery seemed less somber today, the air alive with the chirping of birds and the gentle rustling of leaves.
Lucy stood before Emma's grave, her heart lighter than it had been in months. In her hand, she held the leather-bound journal, its cover worn soft from years of handling. She had spent weeks retracing their steps, revisiting the places etched in the pages of their shared history. She had swung on the swings at their old elementary school, feeling the wind whip through her hair, imagining Emma's laughter beside her. She had sat beneath their willow tree, its branches whispering secrets only they could understand. And finally, she had come full circle, back to the place where it all began.
With a deep breath, Lucy began to read aloud from the journal, her voice catching on the words they had once spoken with such carefree abandon.
It was her way of sharing their story, of keeping the promise they had made all those years ago.
As Lucy read, a sense of peace settled over her, as tangible as a warm embrace. It wasn't the absence of pain, but rather the acceptance of it, the understanding that grief and love could coexist, intertwined like threads in the intricate tapestry of life.
She spoke of their childhood dreams, their shared triumphs and failures, the moments both big and small that had shaped their friendship. And as she spoke, she felt a connection to Emma, not through some mystical force, but through the enduring power of memory. It was as if a part of Emma was there with her, listening to their story unfold, sharing in the laughter and the tears.
The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the cemetery, but Lucy continued to read, her voice gaining strength with every word.
She was no longer just a girl mourning the loss of her best friend, but a woman honoring the legacy of a love that transcended death. The cemetery was silent now, the only sound the gentle whisper of the wind through the trees. Lucy closed the journal, a single tear tracing a path down her cheek. It was a tear not of sorrow but of gratitude. Gratitude for the gift of Emma's friendship, for the memories they had shared, for the promise that had led her on this journey of healing and self-discovery.
She placed the journal on Emma's grave, a tangible symbol of their enduring bond. It was time to let go, to allow Emma to rest, to carry her memory in her heart rather than etched in stone.
As she turned to leave, a sense of warmth spread through her, chasing away the lingering chill of grief. It was the warmth of Emma's love, a love that time could not diminish, a love that would forever bind them together. The library was bathed in the warm glow of sunset as Lucy returned the book of poetry to its shelf. She ran her fingers across its spine one last time, a bittersweet smile gracing her lips. She carried Emma's memory with her now, not as a burden, but as a source of strength and inspiration. The promise they had made beneath the willow tree had not been broken by death, but rather transformed into something deeper, more profound.
It was a reminder that even in the face of loss, love had the power to endure, to heal, to guide us through the darkest of times. And in that realization, Lucy found not just peace, but a renewed sense of purpose.
She would live a life worthy of their friendship, a life filled with laughter, adventure, and a deep appreciation for the enduring power of human connection. For in the end, it was the love we shared, the promises we kept, that truly mattered. And those, Lucy knew, would never fade away.